Well, I'm back. It's been a long time since I dropped videos, man, on YouTube and doing this whole kind of journey of comedy on YouTube. It's been a long time, man. Life has been crazy. Things are starting to slow down. I was in LA for a while. Went out there. It was great. Had a great time. Made some incredible friends. Made great connections. But I had a really great opportunity for a workout here in Vegas, and it just made sense to come back. And not and the LA comedy scene is one of the best, right? But when you're up here, it's great. But when you're down below and you're an open micer, I mean, you got to pay to go on stage, basically, unless you start knowing people or whatever. But I was spending like 50 to 70 bucks a week to go on stage. It was getting to a point where I was like, this is not smart, like financially. Like, you gotta be smart financially a little bit with comedy. Just a little bit, it takes you a long way. Just a little bit of smartness will help you out. And it just wasn't making sense and for me. And I decided to come back to Vegas, and things have been going pretty decent. I've gotten a lot better. Still trying to figure out and navigate through the scene here. And now I'm on my way to creating a show. I actually, let me see, I might have a flyer in here, but it's probably all crumpled up. But yeah, creating a show. Boom, boom, check it out. Jamal Coleman, the homie, he's going to be on the stage, who gave me my first opportunity to do a feature spot. Ate trash, but it is what it is. We're still learning and trying to figure this ridiculous journey out that I started 3 years ago. But I decided to, I really want people just to, I really wanted to start, like, when I first started doing comedy, I really wanted to, like, show people the process of getting decent over time, or better over time, right? That's just what it is. And I always wanted to make videos, but, like, I just, life got too crazy for me. And then, sometimes people are telling me, like, don't make videos because you don't even know how to be funny yet. And it's like, okay. And then the same people that are telling you that aren't even funny. And then you're like, this guy doesn't even know anything. And then I was making videos I was watching, like, YouTube. I was making, like, reaction videos basically to stand-up specials. And a lot of people out here in Vegas told me that I shouldn't be doing that either, because I'm using other people's like stardom basically to gain a following. And then that's when it hit me, is that everybody in stand-up, when you're talking about anything, you're using other people. Like, if you do a Michael Jackson joke or a Trump joke or whatever, you're using that to create material, which then you create a following because of that material. I mean, one of the guys who did that was Trump. He made a ridiculously good, Shane Gillis made a great Trump impression, and he used that. And that's kind of why he got so popular, was one of that, but also he was so undeniable. So what it really told me was, don't ever listen to anybody again, and just keep doing what you're doing. Because those videos that I dropped, I mean, I did one with Dave Chappelle, got like 1,000 views. One with Joe Coy got like 1,500 views. I was getting views right off the rip. I was like, man, this is crazy. And then I stopped, but it wasn't just them, but like, it was more of, I did need to focus more on, like, life and stuff, and then everything just exploded in my face in my life. And now we're starting to get back into more consistency in life, which is also kind of showing it on stage as well, which is kind of nice. But with that being said, my plan with this YouTube channel is to basically drop a video a month that's a long form video. I'm talking like an hour or hour and a half. I don't really care how long it is. And just talking to you guys about what's going on that week or that month with me, and what's happening with stand-up out here for me and everybody else. And like this week, I have 4 shows this week, so it's pretty exciting. I got one tomorrow and at Backstop, and then I got Thursday, I have Tequila Lime, I think it's called, something like that. And then Friday is Notoriety, and then Saturday's my show. So we are doing our own thing, our own path, and I think that's the way to go. Having an entrepreneurial mindset is probably the greatest mind you can have in stand-up, because in my opinion, like, if you keep waiting for other people to give you opportunities, they will never come. You might get a guest spot here or whatever, but if you really just say, wow, okay, like, this is starting to make sense, that this is really a lone wolf game, right? And a lone wolf, you got to turn into a fucking king, and that's what you got to do. And you got to rule everybody's fucking, you got to rule with an iron fist in this bitch, and cut out people who don't fucking align with your thoughts. Cut out people who are just here for partying and trying to drink or do coke or bang bitches. Like, it's just, I'm over that. I've never, well, I don't really drink, and I've never done coke or drugs in my life. I smoke a little weed and I do shrooms, but I don't even smoke that much at all, like once a month. But when I do shrooms, it's once every year, and I go all the way to Narnia and back. I get a hotel room for like 2 days, and I just like stay in there. That's what I'm doing my next trip, because sometimes you need to. But cut those type of people out. Bring in people who are like-minded. Bring in people who are trying to figure out how to sell tickets. All that stuff matters now. Comedy is so different now. It's almost like figure out how to gain a following and sell tickets and create a show, and then learn how to be funny over time. Learning how to, and that's just what I've been seeing, like on social media, everything. That's how I see it. And every single day it's in my face, because you see these influencers on, social media, like on Instagram and TikTok. You'll see people who blow up that I'll see in LA, and I watch them go on stage and they can't do like nothing. And what I realize is that, well, they're on tour, so when they're at like the Laugh Factory, they're probably trying to do new material because they need to come up with another 20 minutes or so out of thin air to add to their whatever garbage they're doing on stage, or it's decent on stage. I don't know, I can't judge. But maybe they got like 20 to 30 minutes that's okay, and then they fill it in with another 20 to 30 minutes with crowd work. That's what I've been seeing. I'll see that at Wise Guys a lot, at the Arts District. These guys who are, I wouldn't say they're headliners, they're just kind of like, I would say, glorified feature acts at best. And what they do is they'll do 20 to 30 minutes of material. In between jokes, they do crowd work, and they try to get the crowd involved. And that's kind of what I've been seeing. I've seen that multiple times, and I even seen it in LA. So what I'm guessing is that from what I saw at the Laugh Factory, that one, I used to go there every Thursday, is that, well, I'll see these influencers, they'll be working on new material, like brand new. You could tell it's new because they're so choppy, and it's like, ooh, it's all over the place. And then I'll see that joke later on social media or something like that, or one of the jokes out of the 20-minute bit. So that's part of the game now, and I don't know if it's right. I don't know. All I know is that the goal, from what I've seen in stand-up, is to be undeniably funny, to create a following, and then also learn how to sell tickets. And then I would say on fourth, make sure you deliver on your shows. I don't know how you're going to do that, right? I seen a couple guys. I saw Cam Patterson out here, and he blew up because of Kill Tony. And one of the things I saw was he actually kind of created his own showcase. I've seen Brendan Schaub do this. Brendan Schaub is, say what you want, but one of the things that he did, one of the tricks that he did, I would say, is when he got so popular and he's selling out clubs, what he would do is have like a 5 or 6 person lineup, so they would fill the time, and then he would be at the end or second to last. I saw that in LA, I saw that out here, and the same thing kind of happened with Cam Patterson. He had like 4 or 5 people do about 20 minutes a pop, and then he went on stage and did about 30. So it was an hour and a half show, roughly. And that's like a very strategic way. Yes, you're going to have to split up the money or whatever, but that's a strategic way to, hide that you don't really have an hour. But yes, you are the main attraction of the show, but you don't have an hour, obviously, because he's been doing comedy for 2 or 3 years. And it's smart, in my opinion. I think it's very smart to do that, because if you went up there and you just ate hot ass for an hour and a half, and half of it is, or an hour, and half of it's crowd work that's mediocre at best, You know, when you see crowd work and the people aren't good at it, whoa, 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 it's the worst. Um, Another guy who does a showcase style stand-up kind of thing is Bert Kreischer on his tour. I forgot the name of it. Get Drunk or whatever the hell it is. That he'll have like a 10-person lineup and all across the country. And why does he do that? Because he can sell the tickets and his material is whatever, but like he and from what I'm seeing is like he just doesn't turn over the material like another like a Joe Coy or something like that, or he's not prolific at turning. I mean, he has like 4 or 5 specials, but from what I've seen is like he's just trying to like, I don't know if it's a money grab, I don't know what it is, but he's basically doing a traveling showcase constantly, and it's fucking genius. He's making so much money off of it. It's incredible. So what I'm seeing is like, okay, like people are getting a following, and maybe their material isn't up there. So what they do, they'll put other people on the show and fill out the time. But like, you know, Bert Kreischer has multiple Netflix specials that are hour long. Say what you want, but he's a great storyteller at the end of the day. And I just look at these people, and I'm just like, okay, like I'm just trying to navigate this, like what's going on in comedy, because now it's with tech involved, with social media involved. It moves so fast. Where like next week could be a new path for comedy. The week after that could be a new path. You're starting to see kind of the end of like crowd work material, unless it's really good. I mean, how many? I saw Nate Jackson's like crowd work specials. He put like 4 out, and like I don't even know. Like they're cool, but like I think people are getting tired of that. And when you actually put out a joke that's really a joke on social media that's really good. I did one and people were commenting like, oh, this is actually really good. I was like, wow, holy shit. Like they don't understand how long I worked on that dumbass joke. And same thing with my friend Jalen Bias. I'll put a picture of him right here, and make sure you follow him. He's cool. And they're like, wow, dude, like he's actually put out a joke that is actually a joke. And I think people appreciate that. And now you're starting to get, I think, from what I've seen, is a higher level of comedy where people are like, oh, we actually want laughter. Like we don't want you to go on a long story and rant about something that's not great, or you doing crowd work. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm starting to realize. You know, I think that's reasons why you'll see like a guy like Ali Sadiq, who's been absolutely destroyed. 8 specials in a goddamn 3-year span. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. So when you're undeniable, you're undeniable. And right now, for me, I'm not. And I'm just trying to figure out how to be undeniable, and then get a following, and then be able to sell tickets and deliver on my show. Those are the 4 major things I'm trying to figure out. Because right now, I can't even get a guest spot anywhere. So, I mean, wise guys, good luck. Good luck, dude. I can't. It's a nightmare. So, it is what it is. And there's nobody to blame but me. So I gotta like be super, super, super undeniable that you have to put me up. And I'm not there yet. I don't know when I'll be there. Maybe it'll never happen, but that's okay, because you just create your own path, and you find a fucking way. You don't just give up. You just find a way. I don't wait for nobody. I don't need approval from anybody to do anything that I want to do. You just go out there and you fucking do it. You don't give a fuck, and that's kind of where I'm at. And whoever's in my way, I'll run you the fuck over. I don't care. That's how I look at it. I'll cut your fucking throat out. That's how I look at it. Don't give a fuck. I really don't. So, get in my way, bitch. I will stab you. That's it, right? And maybe I'm a little too aggressive, and I've been told, you know, that you're pretty aggressive, but like you're a hustler. And I'm like, yeah, that's this game. You gotta learn how to hustle, man. You gotta learn how to fucking hustle, because nobody ain't gonna hustle for you. Other than that, let's get after it tonight. We got a show, 10-minute set or so. I don't even know. Who cares? As long as I'm on stage, and let's see how it goes. All right, let's get it. Boom. All right, guys. So we just pulled up to Wise Guys, and almost walked into a car. And we're going to try to get on the stage. I showed up a little late. I had to stay late from work. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It happens. My job's good though, so I don't really care. But we got on the standby list. We are last, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Stage time is stage time. Wise Guys is a super important mic out here in Vegas, so it's one of the main ones. You know, this is where you can basically perform in front of a crowd constantly. There's always a crowd here. Tonight, I mean, I just saw like 15 people leave, unfortunately, but tonight it was pretty good. Crowd looked pretty packed. I would say that the crowd was a little tight at the beginning, which kind of happens a lot here at Wise Guys. I've noticed recently with everybody, even myself. I didn't do great on my hosting set last week. I made mistakes that I know I shouldn't be making because I know better. I should be doing the correct things, and I just wasn't. But yeah, tonight it was a little back and forth. The first couple comics, it was all right, you know, like they're not, you know, it takes a minute to crack the crowd. You got to crack them, break them. It takes time. So, you know, once they get broken, they're like, okay, it's time to laugh, and then they all start laughing. That's kind of literally how it works. So, I think I'm going to try and work on since I'm going late, I'm going to try to work on a new joke. I have this Dennis Rodman joke that I want to try out and a Kamala Harris joke, which I did one time, it crushed. Second time, it bombed. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, but we'll see. And now I want to do that Dennis Rodman joke because we probably will have a few people, so I could just gauge it and see what happens, and then work on it some more, and then bring it on stage when it's really, there's a lot of people there, and see how it does. And record it, probably post it, let's be honest, because it's a joke that is probably one of the jokes I just post up there. But I've been posting just regular jokes too. I don't really care anymore. I'm just trying to figure this social media garbage out. It's brutal. It's hard to figure out, but it's part of the game now, so that's it. And I honestly think it's a good thing because now you're in control of your own destiny. You get to figure out what you want to do. You get to figure out, can you basically promote yourself? That's really what it comes down to. Nobody's really going to help you unless like an agency signs you, and then they pump your content with a ton of money. I guess that's another way they could do it. But that you can only really do that with like Instagram and stuff. And I mean, is that really going to work? Who knows? I don't know. But either way, I've been trying to do some jokes that are not really Middle Eastern related. So as much as I can. So I can have like a bunch of time that has nothing to do with who I am as a Middle Eastern person, because what ends up happening when you do a ton of those type of jokes, you get a little hacky, you do a lot of low-hanging fruit jokes, so I'm trying to get away from that. I'm just trying to like hide and do more misdirections on my jokes, so if I do those jokes, you don't see them coming, instead of saying the obvious thing, you know? So we'll see. That's just all in theory. I don't really know what I'm doing. I mean, it's been 3 years and since I started comedy, and you know, you see my past videos, I barely knew what I was doing then with the videos, but now I think I have a good idea of what's going on with that, at least. Trying to figure that portion out, and now I'm trying to figure out this goddamn comedy game out. It's brutal, dude. It's brutal. It's not easy. And Wise Guys, I put a lot of pressure on myself because this is really the only club off the strip that's not on the strip. There's like a difference, you know, when the club is off the strip. Like, they really got to get their crowd in here and kind of work for their audience members. They got to send out the emails. They got to do all that stuff. Even sometimes they send out free seats to get people in the door. So, but this is a place where I started, and I just, you know, if things go correctly, I would love to headline here one day. We'll see. I've seen people, they give people a lot of opportunities, and they don't even have a following. So anything's possible. So if you just keep going, and you never know. You never know what could happen. But either way, we're going to get on that stage, and we're going to do our thing. And it's fucking freezing out here, so let me stop this video. And let's go inside Wise Guys. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I hope you're ready for the comeback. Steve Nash, I'm about to bring the sun back. Forecast looking bright for the comeback. Can't ignore it, promise you can never sun that. I pray for it, get ready for the comeback. Yeah, I think it's time for the comeback. I hope you're ready for the, yeah, I see it's time. Press play on the tape, no rewind. No delay, put it all on the line. Only going up, ain't no room.
All right, so we just got out of Wise Guys, and I'm heading home now. And I went up last, you know. It's all good. It's part of the game. And
You gonna have to bring me.
I wasn't even on the list or standby list, so I'm just happy that I went up. And I went last. Whenever I go last, though, I always make sure like I do something newer or whatever, something that I haven't worked on at all really, and I just try to see what it does on stage. I had one joke about Dennis Rodman and stuff where I compared it to something, and it went actually pretty good. The second one did not go good. It was a Kamala Harris joke. Just sometimes with political jokes, like I don't know, I just can't. Sometimes I do okay with them, sometimes I don't. It's back and forth with all, I mean, that's with all my jokes, to be honest. And then at the end, I just did a minute on each, which is probably not what you really want to do, to be honest. You probably want to work, if you work one joke, the best way to do it, like if you're a storyteller kind of comic, you really should just do everything you can to get out as much as you can in those 3 minutes on that one subject. But I was just kind of throwing it out there just to see what the ideas feel like and what they sound like. And the last one is about me getting punched in the face by a girl. So, you know, they didn't really do much. The Dennis Rodman joke did all right. I might actually clip it and post it and see what happens, because there was some good pops there. But yeah, now we're just heading home. I really feel like I should have definitely worked on my. I don't know. I have like 4 shows this week. This is kind of a lot of shows for me, and I could have probably worked on the material that I've been working on. But I don't know. Sometimes you just get like tired of it, and you're like, I just want to switch it up a little. And it is kind of nice because it does create like new pathways in your brain or whatever. When you start switching up jokes and start doing newer things and you start coming up with ideas and, well, maybe I can like put this joke and mix it into a story of mine, and then you just added a minute or 2 minutes of new material into your story and see where it goes. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was a set. It wasn't good. It wasn't at all. It was basically, AKA what we call in the street, a bomb, right? But it's an open mic with the Wise Guys open mic is really important out here. Like I was saying before, it's the one where you want to try to do good. But when it's late night like that, it's at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm just doing some stuff that's new. I don't really care what's going on. I'm just going to do my thing. And now I'm just focused on the shows that I have this week. So I had a show on Monday at Backstop. It was cool. I was doing really good. It was like a 5 or 6 minutes, 7 minutes guest spot. I was doing good, and then at the end, I lost them. Bar shows are very hit or miss when you're a younger comic, I would say, especially when you're doing stories. If you're like a jokey joke guy, like the next joke, I mean, if you're in and out, you're doing 20 to 30 second jokes, the next joke, that joke might not work, but the next one might work, the next one, and then boom, you get them and you're going. With stories, it's like, man, if you start off rough, like good luck trying to get them. Or if you start out real good and then at the middle of it, you lose them, it's like, it's better just to start off rough and then try to nail it at the end, to be honest. So that's kind of what happened last night. I started off real good, and then it was just like, I should have just walked off the stage on that I had a big laugh. I should have just walked off the stage, but I didn't. And then I did like another 30 seconds to a minute, and a couple of the jokes hit, but not what I'm used to. Also, those jokes are kind of pushed towards more like a black audience, I would say. And I know that they do good there because it's part of my son being black and everything like that. So when you do those jokes and there's no, you don't have a black audience, it's kind of tough to hit them. Like, because I'm not that clever yet with the jokes where you don't see them coming, and it's a little bit of a low-hanging fruit joke. So I'm still trying to figure that out and how I can hide it better and make it come out of nowhere. That went, but overall the set was okay. I would say I shot like out of 10, like a 5.8. It was average, average set, nothing crazy. Tomorrow I got a show at Tequila and Lime. It's like a restaurant, so I'm gonna be doing that, and I think I'm doing 10 minutes, and I have a bunch of callbacks that I'm hitting at the end, so hopefully I can get through it and do that. And get it going, and see how that goes. And then on Friday, I got Notoriety. My boy Trevor James hooked me up with that. Well, really, my friend Casper, who I started with way back. I was with this guy, one of the comics, and my friend Brittany, and we went to Notoriety. They brought me there after an open mic, and I saw Casper. He got off stage, shook my hand, and then I saw Trevor, and then this other guy who runs that show. I think his name's Israel. He seems like a really nice guy. And Casper and Trevor, I think it was mostly Casper. He was like, oh, he's funny. He should go up. Because I asked Trevor, like, how do you get on stage? And Casper was like, oh, you're good. I'll tell him. And then Israel came up, and I think he runs the show, if I remember correctly. And he was like, yeah, he's good to go. So I'm getting a guest spot. And from what I've known is you get a guest spot first, and then after a guest spot, you can host there. And then if you can host, you're good to go. So I'm doing that Friday, and then Saturday is the show that I'm producing at the Goat Bar, where we have an open mic on Friday. And I just was talking to the bartender one day, and I was like, hey man, like, what do you guys do on Saturdays? Like, we don't have any comedy really going on in the open mic scene. We don't have much happening. And he was just like, dude, nothing, man. I'm looking to do something like karaoke. I was like, hey, why don't you do like a monthly show? And he's like, you want to run it? I was like, fuck yeah. Like, yeah, dude, do I want to run it? And that's how I backed into a show. My friend Gizmo, he's going to be on the 1s and 2s, and he's going to do a 10-minute spot. I'm going to open up the show so I can learn more about how to host. Opening up cold is very difficult. Some people just have a natural like, they're just naturals at it. It just depends. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I just got to learn. You got to learn how to open cold rooms. The more you learn how to do that, the stronger you'll get over time. And then I'll do about 10 or 15 up top, run my set. I'll do a guest spot. I'll probably put Gizmo up, and then I got my boy Alex J. He's gonna go up. I think his last name is Jankel, but probably doesn't want me to say his last name, so I'll block that out. Yeah, and then it's gonna be Evan. Evan's been killing it out here lately in Vegas. I don't know if he started at the same. I think he like started comedy like 4 or 5 years ago, but I think he stopped and then restarted it. I don't know his total backstory, but I just remember when he started, it was like right when I started, and he's a joke kind of writer guy, and it was like, you know, like everybody, it was just like me. Like, I was a fucking disaster. I was a disaster on stage more than anybody, and but like with Evan, you could kind of see, like, I was like, oh, I see where he's going, like with these jokes. I was like, oh, these are like, you know, very like Mark Norman like kind of style, like very jokey joke, boom, 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 boom. And then now, I mean, he's up to doing, he's doing 10, 15, 20 minutes every single weekend. So on Fridays and Saturdays out here. And that's huge. So that means that we all have that opportunity as younger comics, 3 to 4 year, 5 year comics out here, to have that same opportunity to be doing spots, because if they give it, not saying that we're as good as him or anything like that, it's just more like it's possible that you can get spots out here, especially on the Strip and at Wise Guys Comedy Club. Those are the two spots. Those are like, the Strip is a little different of a beast, but the Wise Guys Comedy Club is pretty set up pretty much like any other type of club, you know. So, but he's doing a 20-minute spot, unless he gets pulled to go to like Wise Guys or something. But he's doing a 20-minute spot at my show, and then my headliner is going to be Jamal Coleman, who is the first person that gave me a feature spot. The second person, Agostino, gave me my first spot as a feature. Back when I was in LA, we went out to, man, it's just crazy. I remember he's like, hey, I remember I met him here at LA Comedy Club, and it was like we hit it off right away because he loves sports. And I didn't know, but I guess he's like a massive like Patriots fan. I think his parents or something are from the Boston area, and it's crazy because he actually has like a kind of like a Boston-y accent. It's kind of cool. And but I met him, and when I moved out to LA, he's like, oh, dope, dude. And then he hit me up one day. He's like, yo, you want to come out to Ventura? And I'm just going to be working on some new stuff. It's just a shitty bar show, nothing crazy. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And I rolled out, and right when he picked me up, he's like, if you didn't come with me today, I would never hit you up again. Now I know that you're down for the cause, and like you're the homie now. I was like, oh fuck, dude, I didn't know I was like in trial run here. I was like, oh shit, thank God I showed up. And I almost didn't, because like things were happening in my life at that time. It's just my life was very hectic a year and a half ago. It was insane. I lost everything. So just rebuilding it now, and everything's going really great. And the more consistent I get in my life, the more consistency I've noticed on stage. And so I went out there to Ventura, and we're about to go on stage, and the guy who's running it, I think he works at Maria's Calendar, which is like a pie place. By the way, pies are incredible there. If you guys want to sponsor if you want to sponsor my videos, please let me know. I would love that. Anyway, we are doing the show, and the guy's like, "Yeah, man, I'm a tough act to follow, but I can open up a show. So I'm gonna go first, though. Okay? I know I'm a tough act to follow." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm not kidding you. This guy, I'm not kidding. He put on a present, a box, and it would look like a present. And then he put like a hat on, and then he had like paintings, and he did puns for like 15 minutes. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I went on stage after. I had a couple laughs. Ate trash though, let's be honest. And for 10 to 15 minutes, and Agostino went up, and then Agostino's been doing comedy for like 10 plus years. And you really get to see like how a comic who's been doing it that long, he headlines around the country. It's crazy when you see, there wasn't many people there. It's like 10, 12 people. That might be pushing it, to be honest. But he figured out a way to get them. Like the first 5 to 10 minutes, they just weren't budging. And then he did crowd work. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, he got some, and then all of his jokes hit. Every single one. It was insane. All of his new jokes, everything was working. And he went on stage for like 50 minutes to an hour doing his thing, man. And it's just crazy to see like how he did that, and how he basically broke the crowd by making almost like breaking the ice with a girl when you go on a date with them or whatever. Like, just like, hey, like, what's going on here? Like, tell me like something crazy about yourself. And that's kind of like what he does. Like, tell me something crazy about yourself, in a way where he used it in crowd work, and then boom, next thing you know, everything's working. So it was just like, it's just a really great experience to be around people who have been in the game for 10 or 15 years. And Jamal Coleman is the same way. Jamal, his brain, like his comedy brain is very in-depth, and he didn't come into the game doing comedy. He was like I think he was like an audio engineer and a rapper. So he has that rapper mindset, like in lyrical, and then he also knows, then when he went to comedy, now he can mix the two together, and it's really unique, his comedy, I would say. And he taught me a lot just on the trip, man. We went to Lake Havasu for like an hour and a half, 2-hour ride from Vegas, and we went out there and we had a great time. I didn't do great at all. And the one thing that Jamal told me, the beautiful thing about some of these guys who are so far ahead, they see things at light speed compared to what I'm seeing. And what he told me was like, nothing was really interesting until you talked about growing up in a trailer park as a Muslim, and what really was interesting was your son. And he's like, stay there. You have a lot of meat on the bone, and you're not taking it off. So stay there and keep talking about that and figure it out. Figure out how to get that funny. And that's kind of like that's kind of basically what we were doing, what I've been doing the last few months. And so I've always wanted to repay Jamal for putting me up on that stage at Lake Havasu, and this is one of the ways to do it. And also, it's one of the ways, if you're in my position where you're like 3 years in and you're not getting the guest spots at the clubs, you're not, and honestly, like, I don't really want them right now. I just, because when I do it, I want to be undeniable, right? Like, I kind of have an in at this place called LA Comedy Club. That's where Jamal Coleman, he features for Brett Ernst, I'm pretty sure, there. Every single Tuesday and Wednesday when Butch Bradley has his shows off. And it's like, for me, I could probably really push myself onto that stage. And if I hit it and if I crush it, it's really going to be luck more than me just killing because of my jokes or my storytelling or whatever the hell it is. So what I want to do is get to a point where I am very confident in myself, and then I take the leap and I hit, like, confident in my set, and then I take that chance, because when I do that, I want to be hitting my sets at an 80 to 90% clip at that moment, where I'm doing really good 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 times. Right now, we're at like 6 out of 10. It's back and forth. My sets are very back and forth. I had like a really bad set at Rick's Rolling Smoke once, about back in November. It was real bad, and I yelled at the crowd. I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to act like Patrice O'Neal. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but yeah. So like I have I have a lot of ins for LA Comedy Club, but I'm just waiting. And Jamal's like the homie, man, and he hooked me up so much that I've really got to repay him. And also, when you put these guys on stage, if you are running a show, like, yes, you want to put your friends on. Okay, so if you're going to put your friends on, put them on as like guest spots and features. But like, if you really want to run a show, the show is more important than putting your friends on stage, to be honest. I never thought of it like that, but it truly is. Like, you really got to look at it, what's best for your business, because at the end of the day, if you're running a show, you're running a business. And like, you really need to make sure you have a really solid headliner, and a headliner also who is probably in at some clubs, let's be honest, who can also put you on and give you quality stage time, right? So now if you have a couple of shows, let's say you're running 3 or 4 shows now and a month, and you're paying people and they're headlining, I mean, it's only a matter of time till you get get some really quality spots, and you get to get that quality stage time that you're looking for. So put on people who, I mean, this is what I'm doing. I don't care what you do. You do whatever the fuck you want, but I'm putting on people who I know who can headline, who can actually headline, or they're breaking into headlining, who also run shows, who also have ins at comedy clubs. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm looking out for me and myself only in this comedy game. I am the most important person in comedy for myself. And then I will, once I figure out what's going on, I can bring my friends along, the people that have been ride or die with me, and I'll do whatever I can to get them on stage. I do that already. I try to help out as many people as I can, but it's hard because we don't really have that many shows in Vegas, and I'm trying to figure out how I can switch that. Like, you could say this scene sucks or whatever. Like, a lot of people come out here. I have some friends come out from New York. Like, how do people get good out here? Well, like, yeah, okay, it is a little interesting. It is a little weird out here for sure. Like, it's a very, like, a lot of LA people get very frustrated when they come out here because it's very, like, there's no path. Like, it's weird. So instead of complaining, like what I used to do, like, let's just make it the best that I can be and create my own thing. And that's what I'm trying to do. So we're heading home now and getting ready for tomorrow's show. So we'll see what goes on, all right? Let's get after it, boys. I am ready for the show tomorrow, and we're going to do that 10-minute set and see how it goes. We'll see what happens. Can't wait.